Well, I also think back to the different terms of like styles of animation, and like you said, you could see a significant difference between something that was rotoscoped, like American Pop,
Yeah.
versus like something that is like one of the Saturday morning cartoons where the gestures were very exaggerated.
Right.
The ghost, and they would almost like stiffen up a little bit. It was almost
Well,
like
yeah.
taking the Three Stooges to the next level in terms of pantomiming and
Yeah.
body reactions.
Oh yeah, and the thing about with animation is that it really depends on how dialogue heavy, reliant you're in. Hanna Barbera were the ones who really played on creating dialogue using radio scripts, really, which is what Huckleberry. I mean, it's all verbal gags and what. So yeah, you would do. They would do a lot of really fast moving stuff. But there's a difference between planned animation and just limited animation. Those are two different things. If you plan something, you can get the feeling of a fully animated and entertaining sequence. But if it's just limited and everything has got the same value to it, then what happens is that you spread out your talent and your effort over everything. It's kind of like if you've got something that you don't have to hardly do anything with, that's one thing. You may have reuse, and you hardly have to do anything with that. But if you have to really work hard at it, then you could pour your energies into it because you know that it was balanced out by the time that you didn't have to spend on the simpler material. So that is kind of a thing of where when I was at the Patty Freeling, and I was working on Baggage Hands and Nitwits and Mr. Magoo. This is nice. Was earlier. This was in 1977 versus being at Filmation in 1984. We would do. We would do maybe about 45 to 50 feet a week, and that's the equivalent of 30 seconds to 32 seconds.
Isn't that crazy? Wow. Oh my god!
We would do that, but you know what? It was simpler because they planned it all out. They were all the old Warner Brothers cartoon animators and directors, and so therefore that's what they would make sure that everybody was able to hit their. You weren't being you squeezed because this doesn't do any good to you.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think that also translated because if you think back to I personally think back to the pinnacle of the 80s, a lot of the cartoons that I grew up on, and how masterful they looked by that point. So, I think back to, watching in syndication when I was much younger, like the old Fantastic Four cartoon, which looked like, Jack Kirby artwork with just a moving mouth.
Yeah.
So when you get all the way up to He-Man and things like that, where things were way more detailed and designed and articulated and intricate.
Yeah. Well, we had Animaniacs. Well, there's a lot of stuff that would go on. A lot of those, when Filmation shut down, everybody exploded. It went over to Disney. Went over to and they had Filmation crew knew how to do production. The animators knew how to hit, footage goals. And so when they came in, when Disney started to ramp up again, they had all of these people who had 10 years of experience in being able to hit deadlines, whereas Disney's never really had that kind of stress to it.
Gotcha.
They hadn't done any shows yet. They didn't do TV. When you have to hit certain goals, you have to be able to make it. And so they were used to being able to say, okay, I got to do this and I'll do that. Okay, so on and so on. So there is a certain kind of muscle that you develop when you are hitting, when you have to hit deadlines.
Ahoy, mateys! 'Tis I, Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, and I be here to tell you about me newest crowdfunding campaign. The adventures continue with me crew, the Mighty Mascots, in issues 7, 8, and 9. Just focus your looking glass on the amazing artwork of Ian Warianto and Anton Bondi. Me crew, the Mighty Mascots, are up against some scurvy scallywags, and we need ye help to defeat them. There be a bounty of exclusive treasure, only available here, where X marks the spot. I spy a huge coffer of bonuses and stretch goals on the horizon. Then please consider pledging so we can continue these adventures with the weirdest crew I ever had the pleasure of sailing with. Mascots Unleash!
Sci-Fi for Me is about to take you on an incredible journey into the realms of science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Interviews with writers, filmmakers, artists, and actors. Conventions and fandom. Previews and reviews of movies and television. Sci-Fi for Me is working to be the most popular science fiction magazine in the solar system. Subscribe now and enter the fantastic world of Sci-Fi for Me, delivering the multiverse since 2009.